So let's jump into our topics. We got some good ones for you. We got some updates on stuff that we have talked about in the past. So I think this may be a podcast that goes down in infamy, notorious type vibes.
Depends on how we behave tonight.
Yeah, you're right. We're in the, Santa Claus came through. It's Krampus's time. You know what I'm saying? So first topic, the ISL is planning to return. So for those of you who don't know, let's just jump straight to the end. They had a fallout with many athletes, and kind of their reputation took a little bit of a hit off of athletes who hadn't been paid. I'd been at camps with some athletes who hadn't been paid for a while, guys who were national teamers, and they had their backing came from, and correct me if I'm wrong, Elvis, a Ukrainian oligarch, and then COVID happened, and then the NATO-Russia stuff happened. So a lot of people were left high and dry, and now they're back with this scarlet letter across their chest. They got that A. So what do you think about this, Elvis?
How are you going to come back, but you owe me money? That's like you lend your cousin some money and then he ghosts you on the phone, and then he just shows up at the family reunion like, "Hey guys," you're like, "Yo, I thought you died. You owe me money, bro." Like, nah, you can't. You better get out this food line and bring me my $200. Like, what do you do? I know you're not hopping on the grill, and you owe me money. So
yeah,
not even just owing me money, but they're taking it a step. They're investing in the CSL allegedly. Let me not say allegedly. Kyle Sock. Well, that's what's coming up next in our next topic. But Kyle Sockwell announced that the ISL is backing the CSL, and the same time the ISL announced that they're returning. So you owe money.
Well, they're backing, not backing, but backing.
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
So not only do you owe these athletes money, but now you're saying you're coming back before you've paid anyone back. And then there's talks that you took that money and invested and you're backing something else financially. That's crazy. That's so. Yeah. I don't see how they have any credibility coming in. If they need to do some serious PR moves, like a big, I want to see that big check handed to all the athletes that they owe money, paid back with interest, and given them top seed of the line to come back and swim on the teams that they were on. That's what I want to see. They need to really crawl on their knees and pay homage and pay their dues. Otherwise, I don't want it. But sadly, there are some swimmers that are desperate and dumb enough to go back for free. I heard that there were some swimmers on the teams that were just happy to be there, and we're just letting them pay for their travel without getting any bread. That's crazy.
Yeah, it goes down like that sometimes, though. Like we've spoken on this in other episodes where New York Athletic Club tried to sponsor me, and I was like, I haven't earned it yet. And the year after, when I was hurting for money, it's like, oh man, I'm an idiot. So I think that's just how it goes down. But for me, I think that like the first time the ISL came around, I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. I'm not heavy in other sports, but I grew up in that ecosystem. So to me, it was a little bit of a cornball move, just because it's like clearly you're trying to like be like a league, but you ain't a league. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's just like to me, it was like a bunch of teams, not a league, right? There wasn't like, how do I say this? The competitiveness, and I don't mean like the actual like, hey, we're in a competition. I mean like the competitiveness, like throwing elbows, hey, F you, like, I don't like you, like, see you behind the block, like that stuff. Like that's a huge part of sports. So it's like, if everybody's buddy, are you really in a league where you're competing? Like, I don't know about that. So I'm not hopeful that it moves in the direction that I think sports, by definition, is supposed to mean, and just being competitive. And I mean, if I'm being truly honest, just like the way I grew up in sports, like moving towards that, I'm not encouraged, but it's going to be interesting to see what they do, owing people some money, especially some big dollars. Like, it says down here at the bottom of our ticker, Shane Ryan still owned half a hundred. So like, how are you going to do this and you still owe just one swimmer 50 stacks? Like, that's like, yeah, I don't know, man. This is where in a movie some gangster shows up and says, "Run me my money."
Yeah, somebody's knees are getting broken. But I've talked to a few swimmers. I've talked to a few swimmers who swam at the ISL, and Shane Ryan says he's owed 50K. Another one who asked not to be named owed close to 30.
Or is owed.
Yeah. Another one. I even saw Marius Kush. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. He even commented saying, hey, any lawyers out there want to take our case? Because they need to run me my money too. So
yeah,
many people.
Yeah, and it's just like, this is how I feel about all stuff like this, right? Where you have some overlord seeing it, right? Whether it's politics, any type of leadership position, everyone should know where you live. I'm a firm believer in that, because people do this stuff because there's no immediate consequence. And personally, that's like my favorite part of being Black is we ain't waiting. We running the fade right now. Okay. Like, if you're that confident in being disrespectful and thinking you can get over on me, and this even goes into USA swimming swimming as a whole, how this sport, the athletes just let themselves get punked over and over and over again. Like, at some point, it's got to be like, yo, you're not going to take advantage of me. Like, like, I'm stopping this right now. And if you try me again, and then they pull your card and they do it to you again, at some point, you got to like throw a fist, man. Like, I was watching this video with Cheryl Miller. Do you know who that is? Reggie Miller's older sister.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So she was talking about how her teammate Cynthia Cooper is from Watts, and I guess they're both from like Watts is like the hood in LA, and Cheryl Miller's from like a little bit of the outskirts, and they're talking trash to each other and their teammates. And she's like, well, a fist still tastes the same to her teammate. And it's just like, at some point, like, enough is enough. You got to stick up for yourself, dude. So I don't understand. Like, if people knew where you lived, you wouldn't be pulling this slick shit like this. You know what I'm saying?
But I agree with you. But swimmers aren't known for running fades, man. Like, they get taken advantage of because they're easy to take advantage of. Swimmers need to stand up. Like, y'all, I say y'all, I'll say we need to band together, stand up, and demand what's yours.
Yeah. And just so the record reflect that the Longhorns, we ran some fades within the team a few times, whether it was wrestling, usually like wrestle fighting, but there was a few fists thrown. So yeah, let it be known. Let it be known.
You gotta put people in their place, man. But if you got swimmers going up in there and being like, "Oh, I'll swim on the ISL for free," no swimmer better return for free. Yeah, you're all banned.
That's that 50 Cent PIMP song right there playing in the background. Good night. All right. So now that we have established everything you need to know about the ISL, how we feel about it,